fans, I mean, all other fans get the shits with Gutherson's, and Clint Gutherson, and I'm sure I've posted something around the line in big games where he chirps to the refs too much, but I'm sure it's got something to do with his Manly background and a bit of Des Hasler and Jeff Tuvey. But it's funny when you think of Parramatta fans, they adore him, they love him, and I think fans will turn very quickly if Gutherson walks in. And I said a couple of weeks ago, you asked me who would be your captains for next year. I said Damien Cook and co-captains with maybe Sewer or Mariner, possibly. If Gutherson comes in, love the idea if he's not playing 5'8", which might be a bit of a stretch, which we've thrown about, like you said. But if you start at fullback as your captain, he walks in, it will not take very long for Dragons fans to warm up to Clint Gutherson and his theatrics on the field, the way he gets around the field. And look, yes, he's got a few injuries, but who doesn't? You're gonna get the squeeze out of him. He's got to want to prove something to his old club. He would really. I think this would be the making of Clint Gutherson. Obviously, he's I wouldn't say he's a legend of the Eels. Maybe Eels fans will say he already is a legend of the club. He's a club great, and I think he can really make an immediate response as an on-field leader and tuck him into that fullback role. And again, that comes back to what I said before about completely overhauling your offensive structure for next year, which it does with a Clint Gutherson at fullback. And God bless Tyrrell Sloan, who I've defended at nauseum on this podcast. But it also makes your wing position really dangerous. Like imagine, so you get Gutherson, you want to start him at fullback, fine, he's your captain. If there's injuries later in the year, he can float around the field and fill some gaps if he has to. But then now you got Tyrrell Sloan on a wing. Like it's that unknown of Tyrrell Sloan on the wing and just giving him sparing ball rather than teams kicking to him constantly and trying to target him over and over. And, of course, you'll still get targeted on the wing. It immediately upgrades two positions on the field to me and makes you much more dangerous, I think. And I think Dragons fans, if Shane Flanagan gets his wish, and like I said, I believe it's done, I think it changed the complete dynamics of the side, and you're throwing Holmes and Cook as well. You've got to remember that these guys, Holmes played Origin this year.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was an incumbent, yeah.
Cook was close, but I say close, but he was struggling at South. But, last year, the year before, he was a Kangaroo rep. And Gutherson is Clint Gutherson. Obviously, he's behind a few guys, but just it looks so much better, and it looks like a far more patient side that's not going to try to win the game in the 20th minute, and it's not going to lose it in the 45th minute. There's more upside to me, and that means to me as well, like guys like Sloan, you can tuck him away. Look, imagine Sloan outside Holmes, outside Gutherson, and then potentially you've got to get someone that's going to help Kyle Flanagan in those halves role. If you're not going to get an out-and-out superstar halfback, which is, I think the Dragons need to learn from that. And I think Shane Flanagan doesn't want to do that. I think he's trying to build an army across the field rather than build it on one or two guys and hope for the best that everyone stays on the field. Yeah,
well, you look at what he did at Cronulla. I know Paul Gallen would have been on big money because he was a New South Wales and Australian rep, but they didn't go and sign Paul Gallen a year prior. Like he'd come across from Western Sydney as a younger lad and kind of got his shot at Cronulla and then turned into a bit of a club legend. But yeah, like I think even Luke Lewis and Ben Barber and those guys, like they weren't on huge money. They weren't kind of wanted by their previous club. So yeah, and I think that makes sense, bringing together a squad, a well-balanced squad across the park. The Dragons obviously, still need help in the halves, like Kurt said, still need some help up front in the middle of the park. But yeah, with the Ben Hunt news that a Gold Coast or a Dolphins or a Sharks or Dogs or whatever, to get him, they might have to drop a player and we might see some quality forwards come onto the market or some young players, some unheralded players become available. So it's not fretting just yet for the Dragons as they try and build this roster into something electric for 2025. In regards to Sloan as well, I wouldn't be surprised if considering kind of Gutherson's age and the fact that the wear and tear on his body over many years, wouldn't be surprised to see time where he kind of drifts out to the wing and Sloane gets to play kind of 10 or 15% of the match at fullback and can kind of chime in at the back as well. I think, Shane Flanagan's a smart enough coach that he will kind of move some of those pieces around. So it is exciting. We're a long way from round 1 2025, but there's plenty of excitement, I think, for the Dragons with some of these players.